second last slide set for the semester, and it's on glaciers and glacier landforms. Now, there aren't a lot of glaciers left on the planet right now. We are in an interglacial period, which means our glaciers, for the most part, have melted out. But there are still several forms of glaciers left on the planet, both what we call continental and alpine glaciers. However, a significant portion of our planet has been glaciated, and that means that there are glacial landforms that we can investigate. So we need to understand what a glacier is first. And a glacier is the product of year after year snow falling in a particular location, but over the summer months that snow does not melt. And because it does not melt, then the following winter, new snow falls on top of that. The pressure from the newly accumulated snow year after year after year creates layers of generations of snow, and the snow that fell first, or that is on the bottom, and then subsequent snow layers recrystallizes. It goes through a little bit of a melting phase, but it doesn't completely melt out and then the water disappears from flow. It recrystallizes under that weight and becomes ice. That water then does a couple of things. You know that water expands when it's frozen, so it creates some volume of expansion, and that water expansion starts to create some tension on the rock that it's sitting on. But that snow has also melted a little bit into the rock, and as we saw with geomorphology when we were talking about weathering and erosional agents, the ice then fuses into that rock and creates a condition that both the ice mass exists externally from the rock and internally with the rock. And because of that, then the rock that's part of the glacier then moves with that glacier and it becomes an agent of erosion. So with that, glaciers do move, and they move under their own pressure and gravity, and they move from higher elevations to lower elevations because of gravity. There are two types of glaciers. We've got alpine glaciers, which is the most prevalent type of glacier in the United States. We've got several small remnants of glaciers and small glaciers in places like Glacier National Park in Montana. And we've got several glaciers that are alpine in Alaska, Canada, Europe, Asia, even places in Central America and in Southeast Asia have alpine glaciers as well. These glaciers mostly move from high elevation to low elevation, so they're moving due to gravity. Continental glaciers, for which there are only a few left on our planet, but did occupy significant portions of our planet in the past, move under their own weight. Sort of think about making a pan of Jell-O and then adding a little bit of weight to the middle of the Jell-O at a time. And what you're going to find is that Jell-O sort of spreads out towards the sides. So that's what's happening, is it snows in the center of the glacier. That glacier mass increases there, and it sort of just flows laterally in all directions from the center outward. I've got a couple of images on the slides here. This first one is an alpine glacier. This glacier is in the bottom of the valley, creating a U-shaped valley. I've got a bit of a cirque up here flowing into a hanging valley. So this area is the place of accumulation. We get flow into the lower layers in this direction. This is happening all the way back through this mountain environment. It's picking up debris and carrying that debris and using that debris to scour more rock and carry and erode more material out of these alpine environments. And what you're seeing in these layers, or in these stripes, is the debris that's being carried that was scoured out of these higher elevations. On this glacier, which happens to be part of a continental glacier, the stratigraphic layers that we're seeing in here is material which was picked up by the wind, perhaps adjacent to the glacier, perhaps further afield, and maybe even another continent. The wind picks it up and then deposits that material on the top of that glacier, and then the next year a new snow layer falls.